Hey y'all, what's happening? Why are all the YouTubers shouting? That's what I want to know today. Is why are all the YouTubers shouting? If you don't know what I mean, go and look at the last few videos in your history on the YouTube and see how many of them feature titles either in all caps, the whole thing, or with lots of all-capped words. This is a thing that I noticed today as I was going through the latest batch of self-improvement videos, self-improvement for photos and video making mostly, that I had added to my watch later list, and it's just something that I guess I've been noticing, but it didn't crystallize in my head why it was bothering me until just now on the ride home. And why it bothers me, man, that top of my head's getting cut off. All right, why it bothers me is it comes back to something that that I talk about with my students. As a creative writing teacher, that one of my former students talked about with me when she was editing, when she was being a beta reader for my novel Missing Mr. Wingfield, and that is that via the internet, via texting, chat rooms, just the culture in general over however many years, all caps has come to mean shouting. It has come to mean yelling, right? It's used in emphasis in some places, right? In plain text areas where you don't want to use the quotation marks to denote a title, you might use all caps because you can't use italics in plain text. You might use it for other forms of emphasis in plain text in particular. But using a lot of it comes across as just sort of yelling at your reader. And I'm trying to understand why the YouTubers are doing this. And trying to understand that is probably about as useful as trying to understand why YouTubers do anything. You know, as I sit here and I try to understand where these sort of trends and things come from. You know, my kids are big into YouTube, and so that's they're 12 and 8, and they've been big into YouTube for the last 3 years or so since they've had iPads of their own. YouTube Kids, in case you're out there wondering if I'm being a shitty parent. I am being a shitty parent, I'm sure, but not in that particular way. You know, so I listen to some of the lingo that they pick up from watching YouTubers, and I of course, am seeing some of that lingo myself as I explore YouTube. The idea of the smashing that like button and hitting the bell for notifications, or you know, all the things you're supposed to say at the end of a video, and I'm really intrigued at how the language of YouTube has evolved and is evolving. I went to a great presentation by one of the seniors at the college that I teach at. Actually, maybe she's not a senior. This student was giving a presentation on emojis and the language of emojis and whatnot, and I found that to be fascinating. But right now I'm fascinated by this notion of why the all caps. Where did that start? And of course I was fascinated by that notion here in the car, so I can't exactly go on YouTube and find out right now, or go do a Google search and find out why are all the YouTubers using all caps. So I don't have an answer for you, but I think it's an interesting question to ponder, because I think even if we did go out there and research what the answer was, I think it would not be conclusive or satisfying. Somebody started doing it, and then everybody started doing it. You know, you look at some of the length of the descriptions in YouTube comments, or not comments, but in the descriptions of the videos, and the stuff that it seems like all your serious YouTubers feel like they have to do now, which is, you know, all their social media links have to be in the description of every video. All the stuff they use has to be in the description of every video with Amazon links that use their affiliate codes. You know, there's all this sort of common wisdom that I, as an old, as a and also as a newbie on this platform, you know, I'm trying to learn it, but I'm also, because I'm new, questioning some of the rationale behind these things. I really like the all caps thing. The ones I really don't get are the ones that are in just everything's in caps. So it's not even that one word is there to try and emphasize something. It's the whole thing is in all caps, and it makes me think of that quote from probably the easiest quote that I can relate this all back to in terms of my philosophy on these things is the villain from The Incredibles, who says, you know, when everyone is special, then no one will be, and that's what it comes down to when you do things for emphasis, and then suddenly everything gets emphasized, right? When everything's bold or everything's italic or everything's in all caps, nothing means anything anymore, and that sounds like the sort of grouchy thing that your teacher or your grandpa might say. Well, I am your teacher. I ain't your grandpa, but I'm not anybody's grandpa. That it's just those are my 2 cents. I would love to know where it started and how it got so out of hand. If you know, drop a comment down below. Down below, drop a comment. Don't drop a deuce. Well, I mean, if you're watching this in the bathroom, you can go ahead and drop a deuce if you have to. I don't want to prohibit you from doing your bodily functions. Make sure to wipe. And why are you in the bathroom with your phone or your iPad? If you're serious. If you have any thoughts on why all the YouTubers are yelling in their video titles, drop a comment down below. And if you like this video and want to see more, you know what to do. Smash the like button. Punch it in the face. Punch that like button in the face. And catch you on the flip side.